Mark here from Irish Strength Training. Thanks very much for joining me. We've got a training vlog today, so we're going to be doing a lot of pressing movements, hitting that Viper press pretty hard today. It's coming up there's a log press for reps coming up in a competition I have in 2.5 weeks. We're getting super close, getting a little bit nervous. I have a little bit of a nerve issue, which I'll go into in a later video, but I'm really trying to get that Viper press up to standard, so that's what I'm really pushing today. Along with that, we've got some other cool pressing moves, so I hope you enjoyed them. Please hit that subscribe button, hit the like. While you're watching this, just tip off that like. It really helps more people see the video, and hit that notification bell just so you don't miss any of the new videos coming up. So one of the things you see with a lot of training vlogs, and my own as well, you see a lot of the exciting, the big lifts. And it can be a little misleading that maybe people just come in, go right, put the weight on the bar and start lifting it. Unfortunately, it's not like that. There's a lot of preparation. So I'm going to show you a little bit of that preparation today, going through my warm-up, my actual mobility exercises before I start my training. So I'm going to talk away to you as I'm doing this. So start with shoulder roll. So this is for my press training. So going backwards. So obviously, depending on what I'm working, I will be doing different warm-ups and mobility. So you'll know yourself what you need to warm up. And again, if you have weaknesses, you'll also be doing specific warm-ups for those injuries. So some of these I'll be talking through, some of them I won't be particularly, because with warm-ups or with mobility like this, it can be tougher than it looks. You think, well, this is easy. However, it can be a little bit tricky. It can leave you a little bit out of breath. So that's normal, don't be worrying about it. But it's very, very important that you do these mobility exercises, stretch, warm up before you start your training. It will stop you getting injured, it will prepare the muscles, you will be able to lift a lot more. And again, I'm just stretching out the front of the shoulder here. So I'm pushing forward with this right hand, which is pushing the other arm backwards, so it's stretching out that shoulder. So switching to the other side. And same again, I'm doing a little bit of a faster routine today, just because I don't want to waste too much of your time. I would normally be doing about 20 minutes of this. However, just as long as you do a bit is better than doing nothing. You'll normally do about 30 seconds per stretch or per exercise, but again, I'm doing a little bit quicker today. So we're going to be doing that as neck exercises. So to start off with, you bring in the ear down to the shoulder, but you're trying to drop the shoulders as much as possible. So you'll stretch out your neck as much as you can. You're not rotating the head yet. It's just ear to the shoulder, and now rotations. Now with all of these stretches, you're not just going through the motions. You want to make sure to be pushing that stretch as far as possible. So I'm picking a point on the wall behind me and trying to get further than it every time. And you should feel a stretch. Every time you do a move, you should actually feel that stretch. It shouldn't be just, oh, well, this is easy, I'm just moving the head back and forth. You should actually be feeling the stretch every time. So we're dropping down and back up. Same thing, you're pushing your neck forward to try and push that chin into your chest and not just dropping it down and back up. Pushing it down and back. Be careful on the extension at the back. You don't want to go too hard or don't jerk too fast, because obviously you're compressing the spine quite a bit and you can cause injury. So you're dropping down, bringing it back up, just go as far as you're able to, and relax. Then we're doing rotations. And back. And again, as long as you're doing a few of these moves, just to get those muscles and the joints ready. So coming over to the side. Now, a lot of these will be moving stretches, so flow stretches. Static stretches are fine. However, for lifting, for strength sports, static stretching isn't ideal. Possibly after your training, that's when I would do more static stretching, just stretch out the muscle a little bit more. However, before your training, you want the muscle moving as you're stretching. Static stretching has been known to diminish your actual power when you go into actually doing your moves. So that's why I prefer the flow style of stretch. And we're going to stretch out that back, doing rotations. And again, you're trying to pick a point on the wall behind and go a little bit further every time. Then you're going to increase it by bringing that arm out. But all the time I'm keeping control. I'm not just jerking back and forth, which again could cause you injury. So always control, but always trying to push that stretch that little bit further. So next up, we've got a little bit of a hamstring stretch. So I'm using obviously something to hold on to. Just don't fancy falling over before I start my training anyway. So trying to keep that leg as straight as possible, but I'm also extending it at the back. So you'll see me bring it back like this. He's engaging that glute, warming up the glute. Now switching sides, which is going to be a bit difficult. You're going to see the back of me for most of this. So you'll have seen that leg coming at the back, trying to keep it as straight as possible and engaging the glute. Going to start with the wrists, so rotating. Now, a lot of this, slow it down. You're not just doing this, you're slowing it down, trying to push your wrists to the extremes every time. And then back. And relax, same thing with the elbows. Now, like I said, this is specifically for a pressing day or for a strongman pressing day. So if I'm doing a leg day, I'm doing a back day, obviously the stretches will be a little bit different. So I'm fairly ready to go now. There are a few more stretches that I would normally do. I'm going to put the link to the full stretch video for a press workout, but I don't want to keep you too long boring you with all these stretches. You want to see the actual lifting, so let's get to it. warming up. Second one wasn't great. It was a little bit off balance. One thing that can happen with warm-ups, a little bit cocky, and you might not prepare as much as you should, but it sort of taught me a lesson, and I started to really concentrate in the last couple of reps. So definitely concentrate on the warm-ups the exact same way as you would concentrate on your main sets. So let's get back to it. Okay, if I'm honest, I was a bit all over the place, especially at the start. It is getting close to the competition weight that I'm supposed to be doing for reps for log press. This is obviously the Viper press, so speeding it up a little bit. Hits the cardio quite hard, as you can tell. So first couple of reps weren't great. Like I say, just pushing a little bit heavier on Viper press than I've ever done before. I think I've done 65, but for a few reps, hitting the 10 there, I think. I won't know till I go back editing. It was either 10 or 11. I lost count in the middle. But the last sort of half of it, the last 5 reps, felt a lot better. I got into the groove, was feeling good for it. always tell people to leave off all of the assistance, so the likes of your elbow sleeves with your dumbbell press, so leave it off in training so that you can use them on the day at the competition, and you will feel so much stronger. You'll have that extra little bonus to push through on competition. So in training, make it as hard for yourself as possible, and then on the competition day it'll be that much easier. However, I'm going to break my own rule today. The reason being, because I do have a weakness in the elbow at the moment, so I'm just protecting that. So just in case anyone's wondering, but he always says not to wear elbow sleeves on pressing. If you have an injury, that's the one exception. So I am using it today, forgive me. Alright, so that's the press day done. Like I said, that competition is coming up in 2.5 weeks. So I've really got 2 weeks left of training. It's getting super close now, getting a little bit edgy on it. And I will hopefully be recording all of that competition. So definitely it's one not to miss. Hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button just so you don't miss any of the footage that goes up. Thanks again for watching. Please tip that like button before you go. Share the video if you can, and I'll see you in the next one.